In 1966, the groundbreaking drama Cathy Come Home shone a light on one family's journey into poverty and homelessness. Over 50 years on, this story, sadly, is still relevant. Broadland Housing is one of a group of housing associations to help establish the initiative Homes for Cathy, whose aim is to help to end homelessness for the most vulnerable. Nick Wallace went to find out more.
Housing difficulty started when I was 16, really, and I sort of split up. My parents split apart. I was left to my own devices when I moved in with my dad, and then, you know, I moved out from being with him, and then I ended up in hostels and stuff, YMCAs. I had a whole year on the streets. That's where all the drug addiction started. That's where it all properly started. You know, the begging and things like that for the drugs and stuff like that. I mean, it isn't nice, don't get me wrong, but you know, it's the way life took me for a little while.
Joe Newton has been homeless for 11 years, but now he's got somewhere to stay. This hostel in Norwich was built by Broadland Housing Association and is run by St Martin's Housing Trust.
Hello.
Hello.
You all right?
You all right? Yeah, not too bad.
How are you getting on?
They picked me off the streets, and then that didn't work for 3 times until the 3rd time, and then they did work, you know, engaged with services and stuff like that, got on a methadone script, and then come away from all the drug use as well. So yeah, step by step I did get there, and I feel myself in a good position where I am today, like very good position at the minute. Just leaving drugs alone, and it's getting better. Yeah.
There you go. Go treat yourself to a donut or something.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Not everyone's circumstances are as difficult as Joe's. Homelessness is not always visible and can be a complex problem. It's something Broadland have been dealing with for decades.
Broadland Housing built their first scheme here in Norwich back in 1967, and they now have more than 5,000 quality homes across Norfolk and North Suffolk.
And for everyone who works at Broadland, helping homeless people is a key part of their purpose.
Rather than just having a blanket idea of what homelessness is and you come up with one solution, it's about investing time and energy, both ourselves and with partners, whether it's local authority or other organisations like St Martin's, in understanding where that person's coming from, what their needs are, what was the cause of them becoming homeless in the first place, and addressing the whole of the person, as opposed to just thinking of it as an answer of bricks and mortar.
This way of thinking is especially important when it comes to working with homeless families and their children.
Being homeless as a child can have a massive impact on your life, so we need to make sure that that time in a homelessness hostel or temporary accommodation is as settled as possible and isn't frightening or worrying time for that child. So we make sure that we provide specific activities and we engage with those families to make sure that they're doing everything they can to move on from temporary accommodation as quickly as possible.
Josh is a care leaver who's experienced periods of homelessness, joblessness and mental health issues. He now works for Broadland Housing Group, cleaning the communal areas of their properties.
I can't thank Broadland enough, really. Without sounding too corny, it's a new lease of life sort of thing. Like, I've never experienced, like, I know everything, unfortunately everything seems to revolve around money sort of thing in life. I've learned like that sort of thing. It's just like, I've never had a company where they've actually said, you're safe here. Literally, you're treated as a person.
The 50th anniversary of Ken Loach's powerful film about homelessness, Cathy Come Home, was marked in 2016 by the launch of the Homes for Cathy initiative. Michael told me how Homes for Cathy has developed since then, in collaboration with the homeless charity Crisis.
We opened up Homes for Cathy to any social landlord that wanted to be a member, and we then worked with Crisis. Crisis published in June last year their plan to end homelessness. And we worked with them in the run-up to that on the basis we thought very clearly that housing associations were part of the solution. It should be in our DNA.
Broadland Housing Group exists to help people, sometimes at a very difficult period in their lives. This needs resources, expertise and empathy. When it comes together, the results can really make a difference.